The Holy Spirit is himself mission, because the Holy Spirit has been sent to us by the Father and by the Son. And so every mission that we participate in, it's an image of this divine mission where God was sent into the world. If we look at the baptism of Jesus, it's at the very beginning of his ministry. And before he goes out to heal and to teach and to preach, what happens? He receives power from on high. He receives the gift of the Holy Spirit from God the Father. I think if we want to receive the fullness of God's promise for us, if we want to receive this vocation to evangelize, that we too need to receive the Holy Spirit just as Christ himself received the Holy Spirit. To be open to allowing him to flood into our lives. When we think of evangelizing, sometimes we can feel like we have to do it on our own. It's almost like there's this daunting task in front of us, and we wonder if we're really up to the challenge, if we're really capable of doing it. And the answer to that is no, we're not able to. We see this in the lives of the apostles, that after the resurrection of Jesus, they didn't know what to do. You know, Peter wants to go back to being a fisherman. They end up locking themselves in a room because they're afraid of the Romans. But when they receive the power of the Holy Spirit, they can go out into the world. They can effectively preach the good news, and people are touched. You know, by just human persuasiveness, there never would have been 3,000 people who were converted. And yet, with the power of the Holy Spirit, Peter was able to convert that many people on the day of Pentecost. Oftentimes I find that just in everyday circumstance of life, when I experience some sort of trial or some sort of suffering or difficulty, and I feel like it's something I just can't overcome, I just can't figure it out, or I just can't deal with the situation, I often just say to myself, I often actually say to God, I just say, come, Holy Spirit. I just sometimes repeat that over and over in my own heart, and just inviting the Holy Spirit to come down in my life. I think we need these big experiences of God when we receive the power of the Holy Spirit, when we really cry out for him and we receive the fullness of his promise for us. But I think in our day-to-day life, if we're going to be effective when we go out to evangelize, we have to develop this habit of continually calling upon him and recognize that he gives us all that we need, that he makes us sufficient for the mission. Without that, we can't do it. When we go out to evangelize, we also have to have a deep confidence that he is with us, but also that he is working in the people that we are bringing the good news to. You know, the work of converting people, it's not our job. It's ultimately God's work. And the conversion of the human heart is only possible with God's grace. And that happens through the gift of the Holy Spirit that's poured out upon them. And so we have this tremendous consolation that just as the Father and the Son sent out the Spirit into the world, the Father and the Son still desire to send the Spirit. And they desire to send him into your life and into my life. And so we can open ourselves up and say, come, Holy Spirit, come now and fill me. Fill me to the very brim with your life, but also give me all the tools, all of the grace, all of the life that I need to live out the vocation that you've given me to bring the good news to the world.
You know, St. John Paul the Great said that the Holy Spirit is sometimes the hidden or forgotten God. It's like we forget about his presence and his operative reality in our life. When I try to evangelize, do I get caught up in using my own eloquence, my human efforts, or do I realize that I'm accompanied the whole time, that the Holy Spirit is there, is there to guide the conversations and to provide opportunities and to work even beyond the words that I say to another person? Do I realize and remember to call upon the Holy Spirit whenever I'm engaged in the work of evangelization?